Well, thank you, Ben. Oh, a question from the
Do you
audience.
guys sell carbon credits, or do you just provide the data?
We facilitate a transaction on carbon credits. Yeah, we don't sell them. So you sell it. Everything in our platform is farmer owned. You own the data until you decide you don't want to own the data anymore. You can opt into different categories of sharing that data, and you decide where data is shared. If you're going to sell wheat to a buyer that we bring you, I encourage you to sell the carbon data with it, because that's why they came here. But otherwise, if we sell a carbon ton, our marketplace partner, our carbon market partner, does the transaction. We just enable it and make sure it happens, and whatever your deal is with them on the carbon market is what it is. Okay. We take a 2% is our fee of a carbon.
I get it.
Okay,
Alex?
go ahead.
So in terms of the data, do you find that there are particular places that care more about it than others? Is it strictly speaking just like a domestic US sort of thing? Do you find that the Europeans value this data and you sell some of it there? China, what's the scope of the market? Is it just strictly speaking the US?
It's a great question. I think the demand that we see the highest is in companies that know they're making a difference and want to showcase that difference. So if you know you're having a different impact than the rest of the crew and you want to showcase that, we get a lot of attention from those groups. Where we don't get attention is from, and this is just the way it is, it tells you a lot about our product too. We do not get attention from companies that do not care to know about their farmers because they don't want to pay them. So massive food companies, we just got the attention of one. We're taking on a project with a big food company. They're likely the only one we'll work with, because we know for a fact the other food companies don't care to know the producers because they don't want to pay them. And that's even in the organic side of the business, which is more intimate. But they think that the producers benefit from the enlightenment of practice change and seeing what happens to your farm. Coming from the farm, I would argue that that's much different. So I think I would have had a different experience as a young farmer if someone had worried less about my enlightenment and more about my revenue.
So thank you for that. I think
Any questions online?
Any questions online? Any questions for Ben about that? So we'll save a few more questions here for the end. He talked about some of these new markets that are available. Maybe you could talk just a little bit about Kifcure's place in the supply chain, what that aggregation center means, sort of the next step in monetization of the crop. I know here in person we've handed out a sheet or a handout about kind of what expectations are there, but I guess what are end products and what kind of expectation does that farmer have at the end to what markets, I guess?
Yeah, well, our grower agreement states that we essentially all the material, the bales. We'll just talk about fiber for now, not grain. Let's just talk about fiber. So this year, our bales we sold to the companies that are making end products mostly. What those end products are horse bedding, so animal bedding. So the decorticated hurd, you have your bast fiber and your hurd fiber. So the decorticated hurd chopped into about 1/4 inch size or maybe a little smaller, that gets put into horse bedding. And at our facility, our new facility, we have 50 horses boarded there, so we'll be starting to incorporate some of that and see how that compares against traditional wood shavings. Other applications that we sold some of our bales to would be textiles, the textile market, making different types of clothing or fabrics and so forth.
And plastics
and bioplastics and the paper market, hemp paper. So taking the long bast fibers go into the textiles and the and some of the paper products, whereas the chopped up decorticated hurd goes into the hemp concrete, the micronized or bioplastics. The micronized hurd goes into the bioplastics, and then also some of the horse bedding for the herd. So
And so one thing I will mention is as we kind of build out this aggregation center, we're also going to be building out a whole hemp park where we'll be allowing different operators, different processors of different end products to kind of be able to lease the space and move on site so they could be extremely close. We mentioned a number of times that it's a commodity. Plastics and paper products, the raw materials that go into that, into concrete mixtures and whatever. All of these end products, being close and not losing that margin to logistics is going to play a big role. So, bringing this all here to the Midwest is something very new, and in our region, this is something we're really excited to be spearheading. So I'll let you kind of finish off with any closing statements, and we'll leave it open to the floor for Q&A. Are there any questions from the crowd? Nope. Okay. All right. Well, I think if that's all, do you want to conclude with any final finishing statements?
It's like some raised a hand there online.
And go ahead and unmute and feel free to speak your question.
Yeah, hi. Thanks so much. It's Desiree here. Thanks for technology, first of all. Appreciate it, Jeff and Ben, and you, Kelly, do an awesome job, and Jarett. I am a chef and marketer, sales marketer for 35 years. Just came into this space because of a movie, Seeds of Change. Are you guys familiar with that movie? Which I think is a great way to at least get the word out. I'm here as an invite of a friend in your audience there, Sam Valenti. And from beginning to end, just was compelled to listen to every single thing. You guys, your passion and your experience and just sharing of all of this with everyone, not just for the farmers, but for those of us too who want to contribute to getting the word out and to maybe just make change. So I did want to get Jeff's information, but I think afterwards I can contact either of you and get that information, but just really wanted to acknowledge from a viewer standpoint how informative and awesome these 2 hours were. Thanks, guys.
Oh, thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Desiree. Appreciate that very much.
All right. Anybody else? Any finishing questions in the audience? Andrew?
What are all the different products that you can make with the hemp products after it's gone through the decortication and going through that machinery products? What kind of products does Kifcure really focus in on right now?
Yeah, I mean, that is really kind of what Kifcure has been over the last 5 years, 6 years, has been really taking those raw materials and taking it down into some of these finished consumer-based type of products. So we are coming out with our own hemp bedding line. We're calling that silver lining hemp bedding. So that's one product. Kelly just went and got some of the two other things that we're here at Emerald Acres. So Emerald Acres is our bar restaurant that we have in the front part of the Kifcure property. And here at Emerald Acres,
And at the Silver Spur Saloon.
which is another bar here locally that we operate, but we are doing hemp straws. So these are 80% hemp, biodegradable hemp plastic straws.
And compostable.
Compostable, yes, but these do not compost in your drink while you're drinking it, which is the most important part. And we also have 100% hemp paper, which our menus are printed on. So these are two areas, the consumables, such as hemp plastic straws, hemp plastic cups and clamshells and those things. So like the biodegradable, compostable bioplastics, and then the hemp paper. So those are kind of the three areas that we're focusing on the end products.
And pretty soon we'll have like a full lineup of disposables. So clamshells. So the straws will accompany a lineup of additional products focused on the disposable market that are compostable and biodegradable. But again, they don't dissolve in your beverages, and they are quite hearty actually. And then in regards to additional products that we'll be showcasing here at Emerald Acres in the near future has to do with the grain. So we'll be bringing in some of the grain that Jeff was talking about to showcase hemp hearts on salads, things like that, hemp oil. And then hemp microgreens are super nutritious. So these are just some other things that come from the hemp plant that we'll be showcasing here if you want to stop by and check out what it's all about. I also have a whole box of a bunch of products that, textiles and things like that for clients that we have that are doing a great job establishing the infrastructure for this industry. And again, we urge you to come by, check it out, ask questions, and learn more.
On that note,
You all have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for spending tonight with us. And we look forward to telling you more about the hemp grain at our next Farmer Informational Series. Thank you so much and have a great evening, everyone.
thanks, everyone.